Welcome viewers, Dr. JWA, theologist since 1994, continuing the subject, the life of Muhammad and the verified revelation structure of the people of the book. Episode 28, the suspicion of the questioner of Islam. And the question enters the room, but the room no longer examines the question first. It examines the person asking it. Faces tighten, silence shifts, someone looks away, someone else watches carefully. And in the previous episode, uncertainty inside the developing Islamic ideological authority structure became dangerous to display publicly. In this episode, the pressure advances further. The suspicion of the questioner of Islam. Because once visible certainty becomes socially protected, the individual who continues examining unresolved tension within the Islamic beliefs increasingly becomes emotionally destabilized to the collective group itself. The Muslim listener begins noticing the shift quietly. The concern is no longer only, is the question true? Now, the atmosphere asks, why is he asking? What is happening to him? Can he still be trusted? And that mechanism, viewers, becomes extraordinarily powerful because suspicion redirects attention away from unresolved examination and toward the emotional management of the person raising the question, raising the tension. And the Muslim inside the authority structure begins feeling the pressure immediately. A careful tone appears. Questions are softened. Explanations become defensive before conclusions are even reached. And eventually the deeper realization quietly surfaces. Inside loyalty-governed structures, the existence of the question itself can begin feeling dangerous. The atmosphere changes right there. The Islamic Muslim questioner becomes associated with instability, doubt, disruption, loyalty, spiritual danger. Not necessarily because examination has concluded, but because unresolved tension itself now threatens collective emotional equilibrium. And that pattern appears repeatedly throughout antiquity, authority history, especially once conformity regulates safety, loyalty regulates belonging, public certainty regulates trust, and disagreement regulates suspicion. Because once emotional preservation becomes psychologically fused to the structure itself, the one who continues examining unresolved contradiction can begin appearing more threatening than the contradiction being examined. And that transition is subtle, very subtle. The Muslim adherent still believes discernment is occurring, but invisible emotional boundaries have already formed around which questions feel acceptably safe. Viewers, the Qur'anic submission structure repeatedly reinforces caution surrounding disbelief, dissent, and deviation from obedience. And among the people, the Quran says in 2:204 to 205, among the people is he whose speech pleases you. But when he turns away, he strives throughout the land to cause corruption. That reinforcement matters enormously, because once suspicion towards divergence becomes emotionally normalized, questioning itself can begin appearing morally hazardous before examination fully concludes. And the atmosphere adapts thereto. Curiosity for the Muslim becomes risky. Silence becomes strategic. And hesitation becomes visible. And the one tied to the Islamic allegiance structure begins carrying a growing pressure the collective rarely names honestly, and that is fear that unresolved examination itself may lead to relational suspicion. And that is not an open inquiry. That is behavioural governance operating through emotional risk association. And the prophetic witness carried among the people of the book applies a different standard entirely. Trust must remain open to testing. Questions must not automatically become moral contamination. And spiritual legitimacy must withstand examination without emotionally reframing the questioner as the problem itself. In Proverbs 18:17 of the sacred writings of the people of the book, it says, "The one who states his case first seems right, until the other comes and examines him." And that distinction matters enormously now, because verified revelation survives scrutiny without requiring suspicion conditioning, emotional reframing, managed curiosity, or relational pressure to protect allegiance from unresolved questions. Yet beneath the caution, the unresolved questions still remain standing in the back of the mind of the Muslim. Does Muhammad's developing Islamic ideological authority structure truly reflect continuity with the prophetic moral witness carried among the people of the book? Or has suspicion towards the questioner progressively become another mechanism protecting the expanding submission-based structure of the Islamic ideology from open examination? The room grows careful. The question remains unanswered, but the questioner has already become the problem. I'm Dr. JWAU viewers, theologist since 1994. I'd ask you to like and subscribe, ring the bell if you like the content, comment to educate me, share the presentation to help somebody else. And in the next episode, I'm going to move into the reframing of doubt inside Islamic ideology. Because once the Muslim questioner becomes emotionally suspicious, doubt itself increasingly begins getting morally reinterpreted rather than examined openly. And I'll see you then.